Today I'm going to show you how you can do the Attributed Title Blocks project in Unit 1 of your Intermediate CAD class. I'm actually going to be using the Attributed Title Blocks project file here that you've got in your Blackboard. I'm just going to follow the steps, so you're welcome to pull this file up and follow along with me. I'll just be going step by step through this. Feel free to pause, rewind, and replay anything that you feel like you need help with or you need to see it a few times. That's the good part of having these videos. Alright, so at the beginning of that file it says, the project says to create a new drawing. It says start with a new drawing based on ACAD.dwt. Well, I'm using AutoCAD 2015 and the interface of 2015 is different than any other release of AutoCAD that we've had before. I have this home screen right here. So I'm going to actually start a drawing from scratch using this, and I'll just go to this big block that says start a drawing. By default it uses ACAD.dwt. So that part's taken care of. I've got a blank drawing. Now it says to save this drawing in your user folder as titleblocks.dwg. So I'm going to say File, Save As. I'm going to save it into my 2419 folder, Unit 1, and I'll save it as titleblocks.dwg. I already had one in there, so I'm just going to save over that one. Alright. Now, the second part is the mechanical layout. What we're going to end up doing with this project is we're going to make a mechanical title block and an architectural title block. Each one of those is going to have its own layout set up for it, and we're going to use those title blocks for the rest of the semester. So, mechanical layout, it says to click on Layout 1, the Layout 1 tab right here. It says rename this layout mechanical. You can right click and say rename, or you can just double click on it and change it to mechanical. Click out of there and I've renamed it. Now it says open the page setup dialog box and set the printer to DWF eView A&E and the paper size to ANSI B. So I'm going to right click, go to page setup manager, I'm going to modify. And when we're in here in this page setup, this is exactly the same window that you get for when you print. So this should look familiar to you. Now it says to set the printer to DWF eView A&E. It's the third one from the bottom if you're in our department. If you're doing this from home, you probably don't have this printer. This is one that we created in our department. We're going to be making DWFs this semester. And you'll learn more about that later, but this has different print margins set up for us. So we're going to make it DWF eView A&E. Make sure that it's a B-size sheet of paper. We want it to be 11 by 17. We're going to leave this at the default layout. One thing that the handout doesn't say is to make it monochrome, and we do want to go ahead and do that. So do add that extra step right there. And that's it. I'll say OK. When I say OK, watch, and the whole window, the whole screen here will get bigger. There we go. And close. So notice my layout actually got bigger when I made it 11 by 17. The next step here says draw the border. So it says to create a layer named border and set it current. So to create a layer, I'm going to come right here on the home ribbon to the layer properties. I'm going to click on the little new. I'm going to call it border. The border needs to be set to 0.6 millimeters. So the line weight will set to 0.6. Okay. Set it current, so I can just double click on the word border, and it's the current layer right now. I'll close out of this, and now it says to draw a 16 by 10 rectangle in that layout, and we're going to start that rectangle at absolute coordinate 0.25 comma 0.25. When we are working in the layouts, this guy right here, this corner, is our 0, 0. So I'll come over here, start the rectangle command, and it says where do I want to start it, so I'll just type 0.25 comma 0.25. That goes to absolute 0.25 0.25, and now it needs to be a, what did it say, 16 by 10. So I'm just going to type in 16 tab 10. Alright, I've got my border drawn. It is actually drawn on the border layer, and I'm good to go here. So I'm going to actually pause this video so that I don't have really long videos. I'll just make smaller videos in smaller segments. So this will be the end of the first video, but right after this I'm going to have a video showing how to actually do the geometry for the title block.